Hey guys, happy Friday, TGIF, and a big thanks and thoughtfulness towards our deployed soldiers and military members who cannot be home like many of us can be. I thank you for your service, truly. Okay, so we have another fraud law review thing here, and I think the last one I did in a particular person fraud, because the last couple weeks I think were SSA reports on what they've uncovered in terms of their own mishandling of stuff over the last few years. I thought they were good to share because nobody really knows unless it's told about, and it's always been so concealed. And now suddenly it's like, this is the way it is, and this is how we're going to fix it, like that. Anyway, so this is back in New Jersey again, and I think the state I did right before that 2 week hiatus on special reports on the internal workings of the SSA mishandling or whatever. It was also New Jersey. I think it was a man. So this one happens to be a woman, letting down the females here, in Passaic County, New Jersey. I used to spend a bit of time in the Passaic area back when I used to practice New Jersey law in another lifetime, one that I would never go back to. No offense, guys. I've got some colleagues out there. I love them. They're awesome. I think they're crazy, but they're awesome. All right. I think they're crazy for, I don't know, staying there, I suppose, or doing state law when what we do here is so much nicer. Okay, so the title is Passaic County Woman. Oh, my bird's here. Passaic County Woman admits to fraudulently obtaining over 144,000 in Social Security benefits. Okay, let's see. She did admit to it, so I'm going to be willing to say her name. Her name is Joan Charnecki. She's 60, so she's not much older than myself and my New Jersey attorney comrades who I went to law school with and worked with for a number of years and still do at times. So they're saying that she took it from Social Security survivor benefits, it looks like, guys. She's from West Milford, New Jersey. She pled guilty on September 10th, 2025, so very recently, and this report is put out September 22nd. It was in a Newark federal court. All right, so here it goes. Apparently, and this is what all the court documents alluded to, and she ultimately, I suppose, admitted, the SSA provided widow's benefits to her. So I'm going to understand that she may have had a spouse die. Let's see. She provided widow's benefits to Joan Chernecki's mother. Those benefits were paid monthly through, I think I could see what's coming, through electronic funds into Chernecki's mother's bank account. Okay. So Chernecki's mother is the widow. After Chernecki's mother died in, catch this, guys, 2012. Can't make this up. Over 10 years ago. Chernecki did not notify the SSA about her mother's death. Just as a little interlude here, we have talked about, are you responsible for reporting a family member's death? I would, don't hold me to it, guys. I'm going to assume no. However, if you take their money, that whole thing is going to come and bite you in the butt. Okay. So it's one thing to walk away and not do anything. The SSA is going to figure it out soon enough. Well, we think so anyway. So she didn't notify the SSA, which, by the way, like when my father passed, I notified the SSA. It's a very easy thing to do. They are going to want a death certificate, and I totally understand that because you imagine the pranks, the hoaxes about someone dying, people doing it to retaliate against somebody else. Like you have to have some sort of documentation. So she didn't notify. She made withdrawals of the widow's benefits amount for her own personal use. Through an investigation by the SSA, it was determined that between 2012 and 2022, Bernanke withdrew approximately 144,000 and change in widow's insurance benefits. I'm just going to point out that this is yet another case of everything that was denied to us in the last, I don't know, year or more. There is not dead people's number still being used with monies going out. How many times did we hear that? And we're like, what are you, daft? Like, you'd have to be a numbnuts to not realize that that's going on, particularly when they said that they were like, I'm going to make up a number here, but wasn't it like 6 million numbers floating around of people that were presumed dead because they were super, super old? It was some huge amount anyway. Gosh, that's Tasha. You can't see her because of the filter and all. But she comes on live Wednesday. She's waking up. She comes on live Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for the live stream if anybody wants to join and meet Tasha. Because we just do a blur out. I'm not even using the regular background that I do for regular pre-recordeds on the daily show. Let's see. The investigation was by the SSA. Good job, SSA. And it was determined that between 2012 and 2022, Chernecki withdrew approximately 144. Okay, we said that. The charge of theft of public money carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000. We've heard of that before. Let's see how much she gets. Probably next to nothing. Sentencing is scheduled for January 21st, 2026. I'd love to know if OIJ will be reporting on the sentencing? Because I think it would be interesting to know. They do report on some sentences, but there's never a link back to the original article. And I'd kind of like to see that little cross-reference. And I would like to know because I'm very interested in sentencings. And we've come out with a few that seemed incredibly low, like a slap on the wrist after like 20 years of doing something akin to this. So, and then sometimes they get a little bit, and the argument is always made, yeah, but do we have that much prison space? We got a lot of violent people to lock up. That might be true, but since they hardly ever lock up violent people anymore, sounds to me like if they're not going to lock up the violent people, at least lock up the fraudsters, right? Yeah, it looks like it was all SSA investigation. That's pretty cool. Sounds good. I'm always skimming to see who was the U.S. attorney. Do I know him? Do I know him from the old days? I don't know. It was represented by, interesting, I just thought this was interesting, Special Assistant U.S. Attorney Keith Abrams of the Narcotics OCD ETF unit. I'm not really sure what OCD ETF unit is, but we know what narcotics is. So I assume that's going to be something more related to fraud because narcotics, it's bad and it's prison worthy, but oftentimes anyway, when you're dealing anyway. But I don't really think of that as a fraud crime. I mean, there's probably fraud going along with it, so I shouldn't say that. But anywho, interesting, curious to see what she should get. What do you guys think she should get? If anybody wants to chime in their opinion on what she should get in terms of a sentence, that would be cool. I am curious to know, they don't say it here. And if it's not true, I get they wouldn't say it. But if it is, I would love to see more details, such as, did her mother, her dead mother, ever have to fill out a report, like a continuation type of thing? Do retired folks or, seniors or under seniors getting survivor benefits ever have to confirm they themselves are still alive? I mean, this is going on a really long time after her mom died. So I don't know the answer, what they're doing with that, but it would be interesting to know. You'd kind of think you kind of have to maybe confirm in once in a blue moon. I don't know. Once we get, if ever, all the fragmentation with vital statistics and all the states co-joined where say can get it, it won't matter if someone, well, it's still going to be there's still going to be a little bit of human element because if someone gets buried in their backyard, no one's reporting it and the hospitals aren't going to see it. But I think those are kind of few and far between, although we've reported on those. So don't think it doesn't happen, people. All right, I'm digressing. You guys have a great night. Have a great Friday. And again, to our deployed military members, I thank you so, so much, as does my husband. I will tell you that the only t-shirts my husband wears is, I don't want to missay it, Valhalla. So that's all he wears. And he's always telling me, he's the one that started this whole idea about Red Friday being and because I do fraud law review on Fridays, that's why I smacked it on here. But anyway, just like to give a shout out because I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same and we are like-minded in that. So all right, guys, have a great weekend and have a super week next week. And I'll see you maybe tomorrow at 12 for the daily or next Wednesday at 1 p.m. would be great. All righty, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if not just a little bit informative. In the event you have a Social Security question you want addressed, please feel free to make a comment below and ask the question, even if nothing to do with this particular video. And just a quick, again, reminder, we have our daily video shares and tips around noon every day of the week. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A session where you can come in live and enter your questions in the chat. And we all pretty much have a good time for an hour or two. I look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. And lastly, don't forget about our benefactor memberships. They're very reasonably priced. The first one is very nominal and you get a few perks, but on a bigger scale, it contributes to us being able to fulfill a mission of assisting certain people with representation that would otherwise not be able to get it. We look forward to continuing to do that. And so far it's working out like the bomb. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.